Now my friend who was with me calls me up and say, hey, can I get somebody's number or not? They have all numbers is like Clarissa. I'm like, oh, why you want Clarissa's number? Yeah, I want to ask her out.
I scolded Sanjeev lah. What's this? What nonsense is this? Why are you giving my number?
What was really exciting, and I mean till today, I really love about Clarissa is she is really someone who rises to the occasion. There's never a time she'll say, hey, I'm too tired.
It was always exciting. We were always doing something. We were always looking for the next adventure, rising to the occasion, the next event. By 23, I kind of knew that I'd be happy with him, right? But our backgrounds were very different. He was Hindu at that time, I was Catholic, I'm Chinese, he's Indian. He was studying overseas for almost the whole of our 7 years together. And I don't think I was ever 100% certain that, it would work.
Remember one particular day when I was flying out there and I just saw the most amazing sunset. It's God's creation in front of you. The only person who I can think of at that point of time was just Clarissa if she was next to me. And then it just dawned upon me, go and propose. Go back and propose.
But I think one of the biggest challenges when we got married, starting out, was definitely religion.
We were really very different from how we were brought up, values, traditions and all that.
Before we got married, you were already Protestant. So he already accepted Christ in Perth. He was still trying to figure out which church he wanted to belong to, even though he was quite adamant it wasn't going to be a Catholic church. But Father Aro was different.
And he just told me that he loved me for who I am, and I felt it, and that really moved me, and I realized that, wow, there's something here which I don't know about, which only many years after RCIA, I truly found the fullness of the faith.
At the end of the day, when you want to make a marriage work, somebody's got to give, right? And if you put your marriage first, then I will have to give in to him. So then I just prayed and I told God, this is your son as well. And I don't know where you are calling him. I really don't. I'm just going to lift him up to you and you guide him where you want our family to go.
So marriage is such, it's the challenges which came up. I remember having a long conversation with Clarissa. You see, both of us were working then. Now, if we really wanted to have a family, then how? And then we had a really good talk. And then we realized that, hey, let God take the lead. Because I love really what I'm doing. And if she does love what she's doing, so how do we come to a compromise?
At the very beginning, of course we had separate occupations, separate jobs, separate pay, right? And we decided that we would put a certain percentage to be fair. But there was really no need to keep separately. Yeah, and after a while we realized that, if we are fully into it, whatever we have, it's for the common pool.
And it's not ours, it's God's grace.
Yes, so whatever He blesses us with,
family, right?
We know that it's from God. Yeah.
Yes, there will be Excel sheets, there'll be a one-a-year budgeting and all that. I remember we still used to do it. And I guess it's what we learn in CEP also, that actually you really got to know and be honest with what you have. And then we really know what's the expectations.
In God's timing, in His wonderful plan, He actually prepared me to stop work and to have the time to actually look after a baby that had to go through operations to stay in ICU. Yeah. When you have one kid in ICU with a really serious heart condition, we're not talking about just a hole in the heart, it's like 3 surgeries, all of which have less than 60 and 40% survival after each operation. If I was still working, knowing that I had a baby that's going to have all these issues, there's no way I would have stopped. I would have continued worrying about the fees and we would be tearing at each other, having to work and have to look after the children at the same time. So if God trusted us, maybe we needed to trust ourselves a bit more. Not everyone who wants a child can have a child, and we are very blessed that He chose us. It's all in God's providence, really, that things fell into place and you just trust Him every step of the way. Noisy.
We can ask our children that.
Yeah.
Mommy and Daddy cannot stop, is it? You know, I remember the time, you know, every time I found out that we're going to get a new baby, she looked at me, why are you so overjoyed?
I don't enjoy being pregnant, you know, because I have to run after little kids, and it's very tiring, and I really do not enjoy the morning sickness that comes with it.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
so we are very blessed. Every child is different, and they are all talented in their own way. They look after each other. There's so much fun involved. There's a lot of love. There's definitely a lot of love, you know.
During COVID, we were having Christine in Mummy's tummy then. So that was number 6 on the way. Soon enough, it was really not easy because everything became very functional. We were only talking to each other, I find, sometimes just about a timetable, who's doing what, who's doing that. And then we really realized that we got into this whole, I doing my part, you're doing your part, and if we don't do each other's part, sometimes we flare up also, you know, on even tiniest things or stuff like that. There's a lot going on, you know, at that point of time. It was during CEP where for me, I actually suddenly realized that we neglected each other, you know, and we were actually very much in love, but we didn't behave as if we were in love, right? And
doing our roles.
And it's where I learned that it's okay to spend time with Clarissa, to really, say for example, leave the kids behind. They have each other. You know, it's okay to go out and have dinner on a date night, for example, which was unheard of.
I think there was a lot that I learned from CEP, and how to speak to my husband, how to prioritize personal time with him.
It teaches us to look back at all the wonderful moments which you actually have had, which you actually have forgotten.
Yeah.
Because you're just so in this whole race of, you know,
Trying to keep up.
Kids, children, career, life, this, that, it just adds on, right? And then you realize that, wow, actually this doesn't need to be in history, it can be now in the future. You know, in that aspect. Even after CEP, we have gotten into a lot of arguments sometimes, misunderstandings, miscommunication. But never have we put now each other on that personal level. We now try to address the problem.
Yes, so we've been more careful to address the problem and deal with the problem than to deal with the person.
The person itself.
I also think that CEP has made us more intimate, and more affectionate to each other as well.
And it just then brought us to like our marriage 3.0 now, you know, in that sense. So it's elevated it to a new level.